Welcome to 1.5.2. Alright, recap. Basically last time we defeated the Wither, got another star, and then we died as well, so that was good. Lost our stuff and got some new items. We built our huge farm, which is super dope, and it's got us pretty much unlimited food. And we also learned that we can bring entities back through the Nether. Something that's huge in this update, since we're in the Redstone update, is the key features here, which are redstone blocks, a dropper, a hopper, comparator, nether quartz ore, and bone meal is also nerfed. I say that as a key feature, not in a positive light. So now it'll take a few attempts before you can fully grow something with bone meal. So I know we've been waiting a really long time to get our villagers back from our portal on the other side where we had our village 3,000 blocks away, and what I thought would be a good idea, rather than bringing them back, I would say it would be a good idea to get them to breed. Even though that didn't work, we'll try again. We'll get them to breed and then sort of choose which villagers we want to bring based on who they breed, because as we know, when villagers breed, the babies get a random profession. That profession, we would want it to be ideally a blacksmith, a priest, a librarian, and maybe a farmer, kind of one of everything, but ideally we'd want something where we can just kind of like buy armor that's enchanted, or we could buy like a sword that's enchanted or a pickaxe. Also, I finally combined all three of our pickaxes after a while. Got them breaking 3, efficiency 5, fortune 2, and then another one with them breaking 3, efficiency 4, a new sword, which is okay, and another one which has sharpness 4, fire spec 2, looting 3, and knockback 2. So that's really good. But first things first, we're going to go check on our villager friends here. I'm also going to bring some wood, because I think if you have more doors on a village for each house, apparently more villagers will breed. So given that these guys never wanted to breed for some reason, I'm going to head over to our village over here, because I heard on a very old forum that if you place doors, multiple doors on each house, that more villagers will detect that single house as multiple houses and apparently increase the chance that they breed. Not sure how that works. Could be bro science. I think it was 12 years ago or something like that, 11 years, but we're going to give it a shot. Let's give this guy a back door. In fact, we're going to give a lot of these houses a back door, and we'll know it worked because we'll see a villager with a new profession, or one with a profession, walking around, because this village, as you know, is an old gen village, which basically means no one here had a profession or even trades when it spawned. So if you're curious why I'm not placing a bed or anything like that, basically villagers in this version of the game don't require beds to breed, and mainly because villagers never spawned with beds, so they couldn't rely on something like that. And that was really only a change that happened in like 1.14. So it's a little bit different. I think you kind of just pray that something happens. And if we are so unlucky, we can just go to another village that we've been to that's far away and try it there, where a lot of the people have professions. If you remember, a few episodes ago we went to a new village where we had a librarian, a blacksmith, and everyone had professions. We can go over there, and I totally can't remember where it is, but I have some sense. So given that we're in the Redstone update, I figured we'd want to spend some time using just Redstone builds. So I have a few ideas. One I think would be to create a item transportation method to bring items from our farm to our storage room on a hopper minecart. Things like that, maybe a super smelter, who knows. Okay, not seeing any of them breed, so I'm going to try something else here really quick. Basically, you can just build like a villager breeder thing, and it's just like a bunch of doors. So apparently the mechanic behind of how villagers breed is every time they open a door, if they believe that door is a house, there's a 35% chance that they will breed. I'm going to remove this. So we're going to want to build a 12 by 12 box here That is too high. Oh, no, I accidentally hit him. No. Oh, that is... Ugh. So basically, there is a reputation in this game. Villagers can dislike you if you've hurt them. And if iron golems know that, they'll also kill you if you dislike them enough. Or if they dislike you enough. So, villagers will go in and out of these doors constantly, and they will think that each time they're going through, they're in a house, which is a 35% chance that they'll breed. So basically what's happening is they're constantly opening and closing doors, and that way you're basically like maxing out. Basically you're just spamming, trying to get them to breed. Unintentionally, as I'm building this, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, so they do breed, okay. My theory was that villagers without a profession couldn't breed for some reason. Or that these villagers were too old, like that function doesn't work. That sounds way worse when I say that out loud. I mean the mechanic. Yeah, given this is a bit slow, I'm gonna head over home and get some extra materials so we can bring some villagers over from our other village. So, got our new rails here. I'm probably just gonna spam these powered rails here because we're running out. And then hopefully I can kind of like push them over here. I think I can figure it out. There we go. Got them in. And why is he completely standing? This is hilarious. Is it always like that? I guess they don't really sit, do they? We're just gonna shove them over here. So ideally you want them to be far away from each other because they'll have to open more doors to get to each other, which increases the chance of breeding. There you go. Hey. So we're looking for a priest and a blacksmith because we want to have those enchanted armor trades, but we also want a priest not only because of the enchanted sword, there's also an XP bottle trade, and I believe you can sell rotten flesh to them, which is really good because we have a ton of it from our mob spawner grinder, so that'll help us get a lot of emeralds really easily. Look at this foe over here. This guy's in like half chainmail, just standing up there, just gazing at me like, what? What, bro? Oh, and now he's invisible? Oh, he's smart. Give us your chest plate. Is that enchanted? Oh my god, it's enchanted. Please. I don't have looting on. Oh, no. Whatever. Oh, okay, cool. So we got a librarian right there. I think I'm just going to come back to this villager breeder later. This does take a while. So I also will have a lot of other things I want to get done. So I don't want to sit here too long waiting around. But that's fine because it's going to be very easy to transport them back to the overworld. So we'll do that later. But for now, let's go do some redstone. Okay, so what I want to do next is build a minecart hopper transportation system that delivers our items from our farm all the way down to our storage room here. We have a lot of farm items, and I think it's going to get filled up quicker than most things because there's so much. I think we should move our farm items to an entirely new row of chests. So I think this redstone items is going to go over here, and I think that's good. So then this becomes our farming sort of column. Again, we don't need that much storage for much of anything, so I think just kind of throwing it in here is probably a good idea. In fact, honestly, we might not even need to make a sorting system. I think we could just make a basic system just to get it out of the way, because the only thing I really care about is transporting all those items back and forth. So what we need is to make a minecart loader and unloader. We're also going to need some hoppers. This is why last episode I talked so much about needing iron, because of things like this. It takes up so much iron. 7 ingots for a hopper. That is just, or sorry, 5. But still. Okay, I'm going to enchant a diamond shovel because last time ours broke from all the farming ordeal. Level 25. I'm not going to get 30. I don't really care. 21. Let's go with that. Hey, efficiency 3. It's what we wanted. And I'm breaking 3. Actually, that was really good. What the heck? So, first we got to identify where we want to put our items, and then how we're going to transport all of them. So my idea initially is to have a minecart hopper, or hopper minecart, whatever, sue me, in the ground. And the way it works is you can sort of put a minecart hopper in the ground and push a piston, and the block will go, it'll sort of push the block into where the minecart hopper is, and it'll be completely, you won't be able to see it at all. And there'll just be blocks on top, and then if you drop a block in the ground, or if there's a chest above it, it'll still take the items through the block that it's inside of, but you can't see the minecart hopper, which is really cool. So basically it's like completely seamless, totally unseen, and you're not going to know how those items are disappearing. Not only that, but minecart hoppers also take items significantly faster than a hopper by itself will transport items. Also going to need to make a comparator, which I just realized means I need to go to the nether and get some quartz. So I will be back. There we go. Okay, so where we're going to put this, basically we're just going to have like a single chest, and then that will sort of transport our items. So I think what I want to do is almost like, I think we want to have like hay bales here to sort of give you the visual storage, but the actual transportation of the items won't be inside there. That's sort of aesthetic. The actual function though, I would say maybe even right here, you just walk in here, dump everything, boom, it's all gone. And you'll see what I mean in a minute here. So what I need to do is dig down. Just gonna kind of dig this area out just to get some room. Okay, so I think this is good here. Okay, so basically we gotta get this minecart hopper onto all 3 of these hoppers. Now the reason I have 3 is because they're gonna come down here, and what's gonna happen is basically comparators gain power when there's a certain amount of items in a chest. I think I have this the wrong way actually. So yeah, when there's items in the chest, that triggers a redstone signal. It's pretty weak, but if we remove the cobblestone, that signal goes. Basically, a hopper acts in the same way as a chest. So when there's items in the chest, it'll gain power. We'll have a comparator detecting this hopper, and then the signal it sends will be inverted. And so basically, we'll have a powered rail where the minecart will stop right under this hopper, where it'll be delivered into it. And the second this hopper doesn't have any items, the powered rail that the minecart hopper is stuck on right under here will now be repowered, and then it will leave. So meaning, basically all you need to think is that a minecart hopper will show up if there's items in here to be delivered. It will only leave once all of them are gone. Okay, so basically the hopper minecart needs to be on the surface of all these hoppers, because if it's on top of them, that means the hoppers can take from this minecart all 3 at once, because it's basically just covering those spots, if that makes sense. So what we need to do is find a way to get this to cover all 3. So notice how I can't place a block here, even though I'm trying to get the floor back in. What you need to do is get a piston right there. You're probably wondering like, well, how is this thing going to be hidden? So you kind of got a hint there. When we have to push blocks down into this, it'll push the minecart hopper down as well. So basically it's going to, yeah, the piston will just push it down. So when we have a block on top of it, you're not going to be able to see it. There we go. And last one, hopefully we get this right. Okay, so we've officially done it, I believe. So now, if I'm not wrong, put a chest here, and notice how I can actually place a block on that it's not like a weird ghost block, like it's actually completely hidden. So let's just drop a stack of dirt in there. So right now that's only taking at the speed of a hopper minecart, or at a hopper. So what we're gonna wanna do is place a comparator looking into this one, then place a torch here. Basically all this is just a long circuit to say when the comparator sees that there's items inside of this hopper, it will trigger a redstone response. When there's not, it won't. So all we're doing is using the signal that's sent from this to basically invert it. That way when a minecart shows up, it stops when it needs to, and it'll leave when there's no items in the hopper. So when there's items, it'll look like this. When there's not, it'll be powered. So you can see now, since I have a redstone torch here, it's sort of inverting this. So now you'll see if I place an item, this will turn off. You're probably wondering, well, the powered rail didn't do anything. And so that's what this is for. You just make a trail. We power this block because you can't power a rail to the side of it with redstone dust, and we can't use a torch. So if we power this block, it'll power the rail. Let's put in 16. Okay, so it's off. Let's say we have our hopper come from our storage. It stops, and once it gets to 16, it will leave. There you go. So what we need to do now is basically get this to go all the way down to our storage room. So we gotta kind of mine our way up here. Okay, so here's our farming. I think what I want to do is sort of get behind here. We need to basically find the Y coordinate. Okay, now our Y coordinate here is, we'll just say negative 2264. 7264. That's Y coordinate is important here. So let's head back up. I want to head to negative 22, x negative 22. And then we're going to go to Z64. And I believe we found our little junction. So we can now transport. Okay, so then we also want to place our hoppers on our chests here. So hoppers there. And then we're going to want to do, I'm realizing now that we don't need the double hoppers, so I'm going to get rid of that. Basically, I'm just going to create another hopper line facing into that main one. That way the hoppers don't totally get clogged, hopefully. That way enough of them transfer through. Because if they're clogged, that means there's an item in the hopper, and that means it can't move because of the comparator system. Okay, block there. Let me try something else here. Okay, so just looked up this tutorial for this one because for this unloader portion because I got a little confused. But I think we're good. Okay, so now if I am right, get some items in there. It's unloading. It's gonna go through here. No, it doesn't. Stopping there. Okay. All I'm gonna do is move this entire thing over. Okay, this should work. Unload there. That goes there. And should all end up there. Cool. And I believe that's all of it, so there's no stragglers. Cool. The reason I have so many hoppers here is because if the chest unloads, it needs to completely empty. Like this hopper has to be completely empty before it can leave. But if it gets clogged up and backed up, the minecart chest can't leave. So that's kind of a problem. So the more hoppers we have, the more basically fail safes. I don't even want to call it that. Redundancies or something to prevent overclogging. So I think now we're good. We're just going to have a really slow collection rate. In the future that'll change. So this means we're done. Let's go get some carrots and throw them in our transportation chest, our unloading chest. So right now this chest is empty. But if we unload any decent amount into our minecart chest, then hopefully it'll be there. by the time we get back. Okay, let's put in a stack of carrots. And then hopefully by the time we get back, our carrots will be in our chest. And there you go. So almost filled up here, and then it'll go back. So there you go. Really cool. Okay, so next we got another redstone contraption here. Basically in the future we're going to get more crops, and I really don't care to implement those new crops into our farm. But if I do want to farm them, I want an effective method to farm them quickly and easily, just enough. Things like beets are something I'm probably not going to ever want to need, or need. I figured we'd just make a tiny little redstone mini farm. If you're familiar with the Ethos Lab mini farm, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, I think we're going to make it right here. And so for this, we're also going to need a jungle sapling, or a jungle piece of wood. And the reason for that is because we'll be able to farm cocoa beans really quickly, which is probably the one thing I might do if I want to use this. That's really nice, because having to actually go get cocoa beans and the rare chance that you actually need them for something is not very fun. So, I think we got this thing done here. Apparently some guy named Etho made this. I don't know. Not really sure who that guy is, but works pretty good. We're just gonna get some cobblestone on the ground as well. Hopefully that's not too much. I don't think that'll break the redstone. No, okay, we're good. And I think we're good there. That is our Ethos Lab machinery. Some 2012 wisdom. There you go. So now all we need is the seed, and we need bone meal. Get our seeds and then stand. Okay, there we go. So that is our machine. Now it's not the fastest, and it's kind of on purpose because we're not going to really want anything past the required amount, and I don't really want to think too much about getting any new sort of crop. I don't want to implement it into our farm. I thought it would be nice to add a redstone contraption for something like this. Considering that I can't really tell what time of the day it is down here, I figured it would be interesting to use a daylight sensor outside and then sort of rig up some redstone lamps in the ground here and connect them all up, so that way I know what time of day it is. So basically the light will be on during daytime and it'll turn off at night, because ideally I would like to move my bed somewhere down here instead, because it's always a hassle to run outside and then realize you have to go to bed, and then that's kind of annoying. So it's a very, very slight inconvenience, but I would like to do that just for the sake of redstone, because I think it's cool. So this is right. I think we're just going to power the block below the redstone lamp, and then we're just going to go around it with another. So yeah, sort of like that. Oh, I guess it stops powering the block though. I think it goes through though. No. Okay, well we can trail off before, that's fine. I'm gonna have to change some of our floor design because I put so much gravel in here now, it's all falling apart. I think we'll be good because, well, hold on. You there. And you there. So, oh, I just realized that was a mistake. Yeah, you need to be a slab. I think we're good there. So that's sort of our daylight sensor. That way we know when to go to bed, so when these turn off, we'll go to bed, or when it's dark enough, we'll go to bed, because basically the signal will, as there's less light, it will lose power. I think it'll stay on during the rain, but if it's a thunderstorm, I think they turn off. So that is really good, because that means the only 2 times it's off is when we can sleep. So last episode I grinded a little bit or at least in between episodes, I grinded a little bit because, as I mentioned last time, I said I would go caving to get more iron so I could get enough for our beacon. So, block in 37. I think I have a little bit more here. I think that's enough. So it's a little over or a little under 3 stacks, I think is what you need. Actually, now that I think about it, this is quite cool. So this beacon, we could put it at 0, 0. And because right in the center of our build is exactly 0, 0. So, only thing is we'd have to kind of get rid of this pillar here, which probably isn't the end of the world. That's okay. The pillar wasn't totally needed. I think it still serves its purpose. I would say the beacon light would be pretty cool. So I think we're just gonna go a little bit lower here. I know I'm digging straight down, so some person right now is just freaking out. I want to go this low because I know we're probably going to use our mine somewhere, or insta-mine. I don't think the beacon's going to reach over there, and since beacon isn't being used for mining, I think maybe we could decide on a different kind of effect other than haste. It's not really something I normally do. Now I think about it, it's almost always for mining. There we are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And hello. You're not working. What's going on? Oh, you know what it is? That's so funny. So we have a torch all the way up here. Like way, way up. And I think that counts as blocking the beacon beam, which is kind of weird. Okay, let's see now. Oh, you know what? We're not even done. Or actually, that's not even true. Not only that, but we also have our tower as well. We need to figure out. Where's the center? Right there. Yep. Cool. And yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. So, speed, resistance, jump boost, strength. Because we're not going to use haste for this. So, you know what? I like strength. Even though jump boost seems cool and speed, dealing with mobs that are in your way that are really annoying is also... Well, actually, we could do both. Let's do strength and regeneration. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. So, how's this look from the outside? Yeah, that is sick. The beacon's right at 0, 0. Wow, I really like that. It's literally just a line going into the sky, but it looks cool. That feels very accomplishing. Given all that we've done, I think it's time to go back to our villagers and try to get a good trade or two. And we are technically doing eugenics almost, so this is pretty dystopian. This game is dark, man. I don't know. Okay, I think it's time to get our villagers transported back since we spent so much time on our redstone stuff. What I'm going to do is just probably wait a while and see what kind of villagers we can get, because we also got to wait for them to grow up even after they breed. So, yeah, we at least want one librarian, so this guy, we're going to keep him. Alright, so after a good while here, we got 2 priests. Ooh, glowstone. I didn't even know you could have that trade. Bottle of enchanting, 3 for 1 emerald. That's not bad. Or 3 priests, my bad. Both bottles of enchanting. 2 more priests that are babies, and then I believe we still have the same blacksmith. Then we have a kind of a butcher guy, but then we'll have a new blacksmith there. Okay, this one grew up, and he's selling chainmail. Okay, cool. I don't know if the diamond trades are here. Honestly, we might just take what we can get, because I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to kind of like filter this out. Also got an iron golem here, finally. Took a while before we got one. Okay, will you go through in a minecart? Probably not, right? Yeah. Okay, he did go through there, so that's good. You know, this guy's just living life on the edge. Oh my god, I thought that was a cliff edge. Alright, never mind. Okay, you are just gonna go, and I'm gonna follow him to make sure I get this right the first time to kind of do a trial run. Just want to make sure this guy gets there safe. There we go. And you're gonna go in there. Cool. Very nice. Okay, one thing I do have to do is put some slabs. Okay, yeah, so you can't jump through that. Good. So now, we're gonna get you in here. And I think if I save quit, it'll just kind of reset him. Yeah. So there we go. And he can't jump out. Very nice. Sad, but nice. I always feel guilty. I don't know what it is. Once you get him trapped in there, you're like, I'm not a good person. Like, got our blacksmith here. And I'm probably just going to cut to when I get all the rest, because it's a pretty boring process. I'm trying to get a few more priests, at least one librarian or two, a couple farmers, blacksmiths, and then we should be good. Okay, so I've got our villagers here. I've traded with them a little bit, and as you can see, we've kind of got some trades already. Bottles of enchanting, 3 bottles of enchanting there, so we have 2. Some glowstone, and I think there's more after this, but this is quite a good trade actually. That's not bad. So librarian, I haven't traded with, I need to trade with them more. Some glowstone, and then we got a diamond enchanted chest plate, which is only projection or projectile protection 1, so not the greatest there, but I think you'll get more trades. I already kind of maxed this guy out with wheat. Blacksmith here. I have ender, looting 1, knockback 1. That's not horrible either. And this one's really good. Getting 1 or 7 cooked chicken for 1 emerald is really good. This guy selling coal. And then we got our chainmail guy who sells a sword. Hopefully we can keep kind of upgrading these people and then seeing how far their trades go. But I think for the most part we kind of got all the old trades that we really want. I think it's a pretty low chance to get a lot of villagers that sell like diamond stuff, so it's not a super high chance, but I do think these guys can sell enchantment books, so hopefully we can get that from them. That would be pretty sweet. Also, I forgot to mention, I got another music disc from a creeper a little bit earlier. Malohi, which isn't my favorite, but we'll take it. Also, my armor's getting quite low here, so either I'll repair this, or I think I might enchant new armor and try to combine it later. Who knows? So I got our librarian to trade more, so now he's selling paper for an emerald, which is really good because we have a sugarcane farm. Oh, a written book for an emerald. That's actually not a horrible trade. That's very odd. Write me a book. Okay. Let's do that. I gotta make sure this is the right one, so this is the one where we have, okay. Book and quill. Actually, you know what? Let's just name this book Cube Bible. Alright. There we go. That way we don't accidentally sell it. And so basically now we just need to write just whatever we want. I think that works. Just call it reality. Let's do that. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna sell you some reality here for an emerald. Wow. Okay. That's hilarious that that's a really good trade actually. So I went mining to get some coal in our mine shaft, and for some reason if you fall in a lava block you can't build below you. So didn't lose my stuff, I barely got out, but I burned. So stuff's gonna be there, just lost levels. There we are. And now I think we can buy from this blacksmith. And so now we can see what he's got past this trade. So hopefully he's got something. Okay, he does. All right. Pickaxe. Nice. Okay, cool. That's exactly what we wanted. Hey, we also got this guy selling pants as well. Nice. So we're able to buy a diamond helmet, diamond leggings, diamond sword, and a diamond pickaxe. Wow, one thing I totally forgot is that we have a skeleton spawner down here in the mine shaft. I don't remember when I found this, but would have been nice to remember this a lot earlier. But might make this into a grinder later on, just for the bones, so we can get bone meal, because bone meal was nerfed. So that might be helpful. So I lost my helmet, and as you can see here, almost all of our armor is almost cooked here. Now I'm not a fan of projectile protection, and we only had protection 3 on here. The only thing I'm mad about losing is the protection 4 respiration 3 helmet. But I think what I'm going to do is try to enchant again, because I think we can get a lot better gear. So, but I think I'm going to grind for new armor in between episodes, just because it's a bit, you know, grindy. I think I'm just going to take off this armor right now, because I don't think I'm going to be using it, because I don't want it to break. So I'm just going to like leave it in here, and then we're just going to like pick up some filler stuff, just a basic diamond helmet. Okay, one thing I'm also going to do, so next update, golden apples will have a crafting change, meaning that the lower tier golden apple will use ingots instead of nuggets to be able to craft it. But the thing about that specifically is that the lower tier gets 1.5 minutes of the absorption hearts, which will be in the game, and you get regeneration 2 for 10 seconds, which is significantly better. So we have Mr. Apple trades here, and we're just gonna get as many as we possibly can. Well, I think we can just hold on to our 44 apples here and we'll be good, honestly. So I think that's gonna end this one here. Basically covered all the features we needed to. Took a lot of time trying to get the villagers over here, so that really sucked away a lot of time. But nonetheless, I will see you in 1.6 with some horses. Ciao.